we'll talk to each other in our usual intellectual way.
Absolutely, our intellectual.
This morning
When you asked.
this morning when
What are you saying?
Joanna said she went to go see the rock band.
Mm-hmm.
And then Aaron says to me he wants to go with Eileen.
Mm-hmm.
I says, nuh-uh, the car needs washed. You ain't going.
Yeah, well, Mom wouldn't leave me go.
Driver's working. Hang on. Okay, go ahead.
Joanna says she went to go see that rock band.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron says he wants to go with Heather. I says, nuh-uh, you ain't going. The car needs washed.
Yeah, well, Mom wouldn't leave me go.
Okay, that's good.
Downtown, Stillmill, tell.
Yeah, you want to just see if you can explain what we got here.
Okay. Ewan's, oh, we've already done Ewan's. Do you want the ones that we haven't done?
Sure, just sort of take us through it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yuns means the plural of you.
Wash the car.
Wait on means wait. Wait for me.
Babushka's just that scarf over your head, right?
Yeah, right?
Right.
Yeah.
J&L was Jones and Lockwood. That's right,
You know, J&L still. J&L. Okay, what's this here? Slippy.
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 Means
Means
you're going to
slippery.
slide, right?
Slippery.
Right.
Hands.
Hands.
That's your
Right.
hands.
Hands.
Steelers.
Stillers.
Right, our Steelers, our football team. Sandwich. That's right. A jumbo sandwich,
Yeah.
too.
Didn't.
Bologna.
I like didn't. It means did not, right?
Right.
Didn't, right? Okay.
Gum bands or what? What are gum bands?
Rubber band.
Rubber bands, right.
Still mill,
Steel mill.
right?
Streetcar.
Streetcar.
It's street car or
Yeah.
trolley, but they say streetcar, right?
Red up is clean.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Telepole. That's,
A telephone pole.
yeah. And what's that?
Pennsylvania, where we live in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. It's
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania, right?
And Gint Eagle,
Giant eagle.
thank you, this store, right. And the Monongahela River, right behind us.
Right.
You talk that way?
Is that how you
Sometimes.
do you?
Yes.
Where are you from?
South Hills.
South Hills?
Right.
What part of South Hills?
Pleasant Hills.
Yeah. Well, do you ever go over there where the big buildings are?
Yes.
What do you call that?
Downtown.
Yeah.
It's good.
We're ready.
Okay, you shouldn't hurt too much. I understand that you're a native of Pittsburgh.
Yes, for 61 years.
Have you done much traveling outside of this city?
Well, not recently, but in years past I have.
Did you say because of the war? Or?
Yes, my husband was in the service. We were in Tennessee, in Kansas, Arizona, New Jersey.
Do you think those people talk differently than you?
I noticed they talked differently, but I didn't think that I talked any differently. I thought everybody talked the same way as I did, but a lot of them picked it up right away that I was from Pittsburgh, and I don't know whether it was from what I was saying or the way I was saying or what it was. But different ones, the soldiers that were from Pittsburgh, as soon as I opened my mouth, they said, "Oh, you're from Pittsburgh, aren't you?" And I was amazed. And then we went to Arizona. Of course, in Arizona you have a lot of dialect out there too, you know. And in Kansas, it's like I guess a Midwest. It's not an accent, I guess you would call it. And then when we went to New Jersey, I noticed the difference there too.
How do you think they talk in New Jersey?
I don't know. The one where we lived, a little bit.
This experience of traveling a little bit and noticing that people notice the way you talk. Were you ever able to pin down what it was about the way you spoke?
No, because even if you ever hear your voice on the telephone, I worked for the Bell Telephone, and the first time I heard my voice on the telephone, I didn't believe that it was my voice. I said, "That's not me." And they said, "Yes, that's you." I couldn't believe that that's the way I sounded, because in fact some of the people that I would talk to, they would think like I was a little girl or something, whatever kind of a voice I had. But I didn't see
Now
anything
your
different.
grandson's wearing a T-shirt that has a lot of native Pittsburgh expressions on it.
Well,
Did you think that everybody used the same words?
I did, and our nephew was here from Georgia recently, and his little boy, 5, and I went round and round about gum bands. He called me Grandma too. He says, Grandma, they're not gum bands, they're rubber bands. And I said, well, we call them gum bands. And he said, no, Grandma, they're rubber bands. And we went at this for a whole week. Even when he was going home, he said, don't forget, Grandma, he said, they're rubber bands. But we say a lot of those things without thinking because we've always said it, you know. Never thought anything about it. We thought, oh, everybody talks that way.
Now, since you worked for the phone company and had to be speaking to people all the time, do you remember when you first started working for them that they ever gave any instruction on the way to speak, or did they feel that there was anything special that people that you worked with from Pittsburgh had to be aware of about how they spoke?
No, we had people from other states and that had a lot of trouble with a lot of our names, like Coriopolis and Sewickley, Monongahela, and you know, when they would come on and ask for this particular, they would say it completely different, but we knew what they meant, you know, so we would have to kind of decipher. And then another thing about being on the telephone all day long, you get to know people's voices. You can tell if somebody comes on an emergency, or if they're angry or not, you know, and as soon as you hear them over the years, you get to know, as soon as they start talking, almost what kind of situation it's in. It's fun. It's a funny thing. It's hard to describe, but you get trained ear to that.
Do you notice that people within Pittsburgh speak differently depending on whether they come from a different class background?
I see that. Well, you can go to different parts of the city, and you'll hear. Maybe it's because for a while there we had many people coming from other states for work and the steel mill and that. And you go to different areas and you will find a lot of different accents. And then with our Oakland...
I was reaching more for people who are from Pittsburgh but maybe come from a very upper class background. Do they talk differently than other people?
Some of them do. And you might notice the difference in grammar here and there. You know.
Anything come to mind? Any kind of like, could you imitate somebody?
Oh, no. No. But like I say, from listening to people over the years, a lot of times I would know where they were coming from, you know, what part of the city I could pick up just in their voice where they were coming from. But it's just something that you get used to. But I still can't believe, you know, on television I listen to people talk and from other states, and I'm surprised that some of them sound like us. So like I was saying, maybe they're transplants. Maybe they were originally from Pittsburgh and went elsewhere for work when the steel mills, you know, started having problems.
Was your husband a steel worker?
No, my husband was a policeman, police sergeant. But he's originally from England, and people on the phone, they can pick his accent out after all those years. He's been out here over 50 years, and there's still people that they recognize him without him saying his name. He doesn't even have to say his name after all those years. But yet his brother came out at the same time, and you wouldn't even know that he was from anywhere but Pittsburgh.
Do you think that people in any specific parts of town have a heavier accent than other parts of town? You know, who are the people who are going to say you, and who are those people?
I don't know. We don't say it, but I've heard it a lot. I'm trying to think. You should ask the people from the television there that time. I've heard it in town and around, and but I couldn't place a finger on where they would come from. Are you looking for someone to say Yuns? No, I really couldn't.
We're just curious, you know, because we haven't heard anybody say it yet in terms of just normal conversation, you know.
Well, why don't you try going to a ball game?
Discourage that.
Well, see, we've never said it. So, I mean, I've never heard them say it.
What about it? Maybe he would go to a YMCA or a camp or something and might pick that up if he was with kids and talk about it.
Well, see, things like that don't bother me. It's the way people talk, and that doesn't bother me at all. I mean, you know, I take them the way I find them, and if they have good grammar, it's fine. If they don't, you know, that's something else again. I don't worry too much about things like that. As long as they're honest and nice, you know, the way they talk. Doesn't bother me at all. But I know if you read our editorials, you ever read our letters to the editor? People write in and they're very upset about something a commentator has said or someone on television has said. It gets them very upset. Possibly they're English majors or English teachers or something like that. And it really bothers them. If you would talk to someone like that, they would...
We understand there was a columnist in the paper who wrote a column saying, let's get rid of yuns. That it's bad English.
You'll hear that, and not only that, but different forms of grammar that they don't like, or things that are repeated, like, you know, things like that. It bothers people enough that they write in and comment in the letters to the editor.
Some of that is all over the country, and then there's some things we found out, like just today, about the car needs washed. And that was something in Pittsburgh people would understand what that means, but that's not really something that out of town people would know. But you would know if somebody came up and said to you,
You would know if someone said the car needs washed, didn't you? They might say the car needs washed. That's probably what you would see there, or here. J&L, that was one of our big steel mills. Giant Eagle, is down the bottom there. That was one of our big supermarkets. But it's Giant Eagle, Giant Eagle.
What's that, jumbo?
Well, bologna. Do you know what bologna is? Lunch meat? We call it jumbo here. That's the Steelers. Babushka, that's good.
What's that thing that's under gum bands? What does that say?
Red up. That
That's
means to
clean up.
straighten up, clean up. That's unique to here. Evidently, they say that. Iron, well, that's for Iron City beer. They just call it an iron, you know. Telephone pole.
Cutting? What's that?
Couldn't. Liberty. There's an area called East Liberty. So they shorten it, they say Slibberty. What else is it? Slippery. Instead of slippery, didn't. Downtown. And there's the gum bands. Yet. Not good. Wait on. They usually say wait up though, don't they? Okay, that's fine. And pop instead of soda. Soda pop is pop. But if you get down to the stations where there's another one, it's Pittsburgh East too, and they have other sayings down there. That might be real interesting for him. You'll need the lady down there to translate.
It's like another language.
Pittsburgh is such an ethnic city. We have so many different nationalities, and then over the years, as they're getting to learn more and more English, they sound a little different. But it's a great city though, the best.
You ever been to Philadelphia?
Years ago, once a year, long time ago. But we have, Ed has, his uncle lives in Philadelphia.
Do you think they talk in Philadelphia the way they do in Pittsburgh?
It's much different.
Uncle Tony hasn't started talking different, has he?
Not yet.
Not
Corey
yet.
did, yeah. Oh, Corey
Did
did.
she?
A little
They
bit,
just
she
moved
said.
there last Christmas, so.
Can I get you to? We got a list of words here. Okay, can you just read them? Okay, you can both do it if you want. Start with some sentences. Okay, you want to get a shot? What we do is, see, we're traveling around the country, right? And so we're asking people to read these all over. See, when you put your pronunciation, you get somebody from Arizona or something like that.
So what's
Then it'll be a. You got the bridge in the back. Susan?
He never had a good idea in his whole life.
All of the oil ran out of the car.
I see a little green man over there.
He went over the mountain and through the woods.
She's thinking about drinking a bottle of beer.
See, in New York, they say bottle. swallow the tea. See, that's the sort of thing.
The paper was greasy, so she threw it in the sewer.
Okay.
No, they're talking to Louis here. Okay,
You're fine.
Go ahead, Patsy.
Merry Christmas, said Mary. I'm going to marry Jack.
Okay, let me get that again. Hold on. Go ahead.
Merry Christmas, said Mary. I'm going to marry Jack.
Can you try that sentence?
Merry Christmas, said Mary. I'm going to marry Jack.
Okay. All right, let's go to the... Okay, you see this sentence? You know what that means?
Mike?
Try to read it aloud.
The kids were noisy, so I said, scrapple it all, quit rutching.
Do you have any idea what that means?
No.
Okay. That's if you lived in eastern Pennsylvania, you know what that meant. Scrapple is a kind of...
It's a food of some
yeah, it's
kind.
like a sausage. It's the leftover
Yes.
bits of the
Yeah.
pig. And rutching is to sort of,
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Ask, forest, marry, caught, house, old.
Okay. John, cloudy, pleasure, greasy, milk, tests.
Okay. Next page.
She probably needs more time.
Okay. Just give it a little pause between each word. Okay. Okay, you want to do the brown ones?
Okay. Out and about, attitude, marry, car, caught, rice.
Okay.
Idea, bottle, washed, dog, never, coffee.
Okay. Let's try not quite so fast.
Oh, okay.
Last one.
Dog, never, coffee.
I think there's one more page. One more page, then we'll let you go. Okay.
Okay.
Marry, mashed, nothing, cement, and mirror.
Downtown, really big, leg, parents, joint. To get home, Daddy.
Yeah.
Now we need